Okay, Abid, we start a new unit that
Right.
is managing a computing project.
Mhm.
Uh, its first learning outcome is a computing project. The second learning outcome is be able to manage a computing project, and be able to review a computing project is the third learning outcome. So, in the first learning outcome, you should be able to analyze the methods of uh, planning a computing project, explain the roles and responsibilities within a project team, critically evaluate the project management tools and techniques that can be used when managing a computing project, explain how to manage quality issues affecting the computing project. So indicative contents includes project planning methods, specific project specification, project plan structure, performance criteria, the project team structure, project roles, team structure, managing and motivating members, brainstorming, fishbone diagrams, critical path analysis, flow diagrams, Gantt charts, project quality explained, quality characteristics, assurance, quality control. So let us start with the basic first learning outcome, understand how to manage a computing project. Uh, so total 33 slides. Let me start with. Let us see what is a project management itself. A project management is the application of processes, methods, knowledge, skills, and experience to achieve a project objective. So if you have an objective in front of you, you achieve it using process, methods, knowledge, skills, experience. A project is a unique attempt to undertaken to achieve to planned objectives. If you have a planned objective to achieve something, it's a project, which could be defined in terms of outputs, outcomes, or benefits. A project is usually deemed to be a success if it achieves the objectives according to the acceptance criteria within an agreed time scale and budget. So, the project is only successful if you got the objectives, you aimed to get certain objectives according to certain acceptable criteria within the time scale and budget. If you couldn't complete the project under the budget, under the time, and the criteria were not met, then obviously the project is not successful. What is project planning? Project planning is a part of project management which relates to the use of schedules such as Gantt charts to plan and subsequently report progress within a project environment. Project management processes fall into 5 groups, like you need to initialize the project, you need to plan the project, execute, monitor, control, and close the project. However, the project management knowledge has 10 areas. It involves the integration of the items, scope of the project, time the project needs to be completed within, cost, quality, procurement, how you will be obtaining the resources, human resources, communications, how you will be promoting or communicating your results, what risk management is involved, how you will be managing the stakeholders of the project. So, projects are being carried out through the methods, methodology following are the most frequently used project management methodologies in project management practices: the adaptive project framework, agile, crystal, dynamic, extreme programming, FTDD, information technology, infrastructure, joint application development, lean development, Prince2, rapid application, rational unified process, Scrum, Spiral, system, SDLC, waterfall. These all are the various project development methodologies, and lots of stuff, lots of literature is available on each of the project development methodology, not only by one source of information, but many sources of information, many organizations, people have used these uh, uh, project planning methodologies. You can refer to refer to and study these development methodologies in detail from any of the sources, whichever suits to you, but they rely on certain methodology. Now we look at the core components of the project planning. The method itself is important, and the next is the project specification or the software requirement specification, which is more important in the project planning. That's the first component. The software requirement specification is a description of a software system to be developed. So whatever the project, so basically we are studying the computing project. We are studying the managing a computing project. So we are basically dealing with a software project indeed. So a software project needs to have the software or project specifications or software requirements to be explicitly mentioned. It lays out functional and non-functional requirements. When you talk about the project specification, it explains the functional and non-functional requirements, which include set of use cases that describe the user instructions and the software must provide. So basically the user requirement, software requirement is the kind of use case. Use case is a term used from the unified modeling language. Probably use case explains the actions to be taken by the software. Software requirement specifications establishes the basis for an agreement between the customer and the contractors or suppliers on what the software product is to do, as well as what it is not expected to do. So whatever the specification, the requirement, functionality is needed for the software, it is an agreement between the customer and the developer of the software, which will explain that what will be included and what will not be included in the software. The software requirements specification permits a rigorous assessment, a true trustworthy assessment of requirements before design can begin and reduce later designs. It should also provide a realistic basis for estimating the product cost, risk, and schedules. Used appropriately, software requirement specification can help prevent software project failure. Software requirements specification document enlists enough and necessary requirements that are required for the project development. To drive the requirements, we need to have a clear and thorough understanding of the products to be developed or being developed. This is achieved and refined with detailed and continuous communication with the project team and customer till the completion of the software. So the software requirement is basically the continuous struggle, continuous communication between the project team and the customer until the software is complete. So if the requirements are complete, clear, and understandable, then you have sufficient knowledge of the project to be developed. Project plan structure, how to write a project plan in 10 simple steps. Your plan, step 1 is understand the scope and value of your project plan. So as explained earlier, the project plan is basically the part of project management. If you plan to if you plan to create a project, then you should carry out certain steps. The first step is understand the scope of your project, that what are the boundaries of your project and what will be included in the project and what will not be included. Then the step 2 is conduct extensive research about the project development. Whatever the research related, maybe the existing projects already done, the technology is used in the similar projects or whatever. Do the extensive research about the type, nature and uses, advantages and disadvantages of the project. Number 3 is ask the tough questions from yourself. What are the challenges to you? What can you do it? Can you not do it? Whether it is under the budget, whether it is the time, whether it is feasible to do or not. So ask the tough questions in order to plan your project. Create your project plan outline. So if you have certain indications to go through the step 1, 2 and 3, then you come up with an outline of the project. Then talk with your team. Later on, discuss with your team and then write your full project plan. Following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your project plan is in front of you. Then execute your plan in team Gantt, or these are the terms of kind of project scheduling methods like Gantt charts and other scheduling methods. So one of them may be the team Gantt. And then publish your plan. Publishing of your plan is basically the commitment and the confirmation of your plan, that how you will be carrying out. Step 9 could be share your plan with your team and make sure they read it. And the 10th is prepare to keep the planning. Keep the planning, it means being in execution of the plan according to time, according to resources and commitment. Whoever is responsible in the project, they should be kept up to date and everything should have been carried out into the sequence. Therefore, this structure of likely 10 simple steps, maybe perhaps it could be extended and it could be more detailed, but the basic level of the project plan should include these things. The wording could be changed according to any nature of the field, but these should be considered in general. The performance and acceptance criteria regarding the project management and project plan and software engineering. Performance testing is general and testing practice performed to determine how a system performs in terms of responsiveness and stability under a particular workload. It can also serve to investigate, measure, validate, or verify other quality attributes. So, your project performance and acceptance criteria is basically the investigation and the measure of validation and verification of the quality of the project, such as scalable. If the project is scalable, is the project reliable, and resources usage. So performance and acceptance of the project is basically the verification and the validation of the project, which may include scalability, reliability, authenticity, many more quality of terms, non-functional terms to be considered for the performance and acceptance. Like performance testing, a subset of performance engineering is a computer science practice which strives to build performance standards into the implementation, design, and architectures of the system. So the performance is basically carried out at certain standards. For example, the project or the software is its performance is like 80% good at certain stage and maybe 90% good and at 90% efficient, but less efficient at certain stage, and overall performance is depending on the practice and testing criteria. So criteria should have been explained in in advance, that what criteria you want to develop or create your software or system. Roles of the projects of different sizes have different needs for how the people are organized. In a small project, little organization structure is needed. There might be a primary sponsor, project manager, and a project team. However, for large projects, there are more and more people involved, and it is important that people understand what they are expected to do and what role people are expected to fill. Team structure may include the analyst. The analyst is basically the top level of the personnel, is responsible for ensuring that requirements of the business clients are captured and documented correctly before solution is developed and implemented. In some companies, this person might be called a business analyst, business system analyst, or system analyst, or the requirement analysis. The analyst is most important role. If the analyst has done his job very well, then the project and the requirements can be fulfilled and expected to be fulfilled in correct way. If the analysis of the analyst is not done well, then there is too much risk that the project will not be implemented according to the requirements. Change control board. The change control board is usually made up of a group of decision makers authorized to accept changes to the project requirement, like budget and time scales. So those people group is basically responsible to carry out and look after and approve any changes of the project regarding budget and timelines. This organization would be helpful if the project directly impacted a number of fundamental areas and sponsors wanted to share the scope change authority with the broader group. So within the team structure, analyst will be responsible for gathering the requirements. Change board will be able to cope with the problems associated with the budget and timelines, maybe resources, whatever the necessary changes needs to be taken should have been carried out by the change control board. The client itself is also the member of the team structure. This is the people or groups that are direct beneficiaries of a project or service, because the people will be getting the benefit from the service. They are the people for whom the project is being undertaken. Client project manager. If the project is large enough, the business client may have a primary contact that is designed as a comparable project manager for work on the client side. So the client side project manager is a role that is not the part of basically the development team, but that is the part of a client project management side, which they provide a kind of support to the clients on the behalf of team of the development, and they directly communicate with the clients. The IT project manager would have an overall responsibility for the IT solution. Probably the IT manager of a company who are responsible for managing the IT resources could be the client project manager, and responsible for producing the information about the usage of the software. However, there may be projects on the client side that are also needed to support the initiative, and the client project manager would be responsible for those. So the client project manager is the part of the organization which provides the support to the clients or the employees, whoever is using, on behalf of the company, in support of in training by getting the training from the development team. Database administrator is a specialist that models, designs, and creates the database and tables used by the software. The role combines data administrator at a logical level and database administrator at the physical level. When you talk about the data administration, then the data administrator will only be illustrating, showing, or responsible to represent or organize the data in the data form only, the generic data, while when it comes to the DBA is basically the database administrator is responsible to deal with a database management system and inserting or organizing or designing the database management system after getting the consultation or information from the database administrator. Possibly a database administrator can also be the database administrator. A designer is responsible for understanding the business requirements and designing a solution that will meet the business needs. There are many potential solutions that will meet the client's needs. The designer determines the best approach. A designer typically needs to understand how technology can be used to create this optimum solution to the client. So designer basically in the phase of analysis and design propose the technologies and the solutions, whichever the decisions are taken at the designer level are to be carried out by the designers. Designers may be at the higher level of the programmers. The designers determine the overall model and framework for the solution down to the level of designing screens, reports, programs, and other. They also determine the data needs. Work of the designer is then handled off to the programmers and other people who will construct the solution based on the design specifications. A developer is responsible for actual building of the solution. The project manager is the person who with the authority to manage a project. This includes leading the planning and the development of all project deliverables. The project manager is responsible for managing the budget and schedule and all project management procedures, including scope management, issues management, risk, and possibly whatever the project is going on will be managed by the project manager. The developer is basically the kind of programmer. The designer designs and the overall architecture of the software to be carried out, to be developed using and proposing certain technology as well. Database administrator, as we discussed earlier, client projector on the client side, support side, client itself, team structure, and the last one was the project manager. Now project team itself. The project team consists of full-time and part-time resources assigned to work on the deliverables of the project. This includes the analyst, designer, programmers. They are responsible for certain tasks. So you will be creating a team for project creation management based on the roles defined earlier in these slides. Now let us see that what is the responsibility of the project team. The project team is to understand the work to be completed, and the project team could be included that we discussed in these slides, like a project manager, developer, and the database administrator, designer, these things. And the second task by the project team is planning the assigned activities in more detail if needed. So obviously the project has to be carried out by the project team. The next point is completing assigned work with the budget, time, and quality expectations, informing the project manager of issues, scope changes, risk, and quality concerns, proactively communicating status and managing expectations. Therefore, the project team can consist of staff with one functional organization, or it can be consist of number of many people that we discussed earlier. Managing and motivating members. How there are some ways to motivate software engineers and developers. You listen to them. First is to listen to them. Every individual is different. What motivates a business analyst will be a totally different from what motivates a software engineer. There will be even be differences between the what motivates one software engineer versus another. One may want to dig deeper into a specific technology, while another may want to grow into more of the generalized. So you need to listen to the developers, what they really want and how they want to develop the project according to their ease and how they want to go ahead. Maybe some of the programmers want to go into the width of the project, like they wanted to complete individual components one by one, and some of them may want to complete the overall components by partially and then completing the components one by one. So it's your responsibility as a project team or project team manager to listen everyone. Use new technology. As a project team, you are required to use a new technology because the technology is always changing, and techies often pride themselves and keep on keeping up with the times. If they are stuck for months maintaining old, broken code written long ago on older technologies, they will become frustrated. Therefore, use a new technology. Training. Once you agree that it's time to ditch the old and get the times, make sure that staff has ample opportunity to be trained properly so they can perform at their full potential. Check out what type of training is available and make sure you offer up what best suits the needs of your software engineers so they may feel prepared before diving into that exciting new technology. So training is must. If you assume that a new developed software is easy to be used and but it's not necessary that every aspect of the software or technology or the system to be delivered should have been operated very well and properly, but training is must in the project management. Opportunities for growth. Managers need to work with employees to understand what they want for their future. The project team should have been an opportunity to get a growth. Many engineers would prefer to stay technical rather than go down management path, but they want to be sure they can continue to grow in the organization. So whoever is interested into any particular role, if someone wants to continue in the management, then probably you give them an opportunity to everyone that what they really want to do and allow them to grow according to their wish. Flexible working hours. The stereotypical software engineer is burning the midnight oil. It's a kind of saying, energized by solving the problem they are working on. However, if they are going to be scolded for coming into the office late, they are more likely to spend those evening hours on pet projects that have nothing to do with work. So the staff should have been provided the flexible working hours. They should not have any workload, or they may not be bound to any time. Very strictly they should have been given the easiness according to their availability, according to their lifestyle. It will very suit to them that how they want to go ahead. Then there is brainstorming. The brainstorming is a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by its members. So project management tools. We are talking about the project management tools. The brainstorming is one kind of the project management tool. You use the brainstorming is a group activity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem. So if you want to manage a project within your group, you try to get a brainstorming. We are discussing the project management tools, we will be considering the brainstorming. The brainstorming technique should be adopted. Fishbone diagrams, critical path analysis, flow diagrams are also the topics to be discussed. Let us go ahead. So brainstorming is group activity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion. The next is fishbone diagram. A fishbone diagram, also called a cause and effect diagram or Ishikawa diagram, is visualization tool for categorizing the potential causes of a problem in order to identify its roots and causes. So one of the project management tools is you do the brainstorming, do a great group activity in order to identify the problems. Use a fishbone diagram to identify the problems and causes and its solutions. Probably you can write down the fishbone diagram in this way: any cause, any of the like the uses of the methods and materials, then you come up with the problem statement. Another tool is the critical path analysis flow diagram. You follow the flow chart. Flow diagram is a type of diagram that represents the algorithm, workflow or process, which shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting them with arrow. This diagrammatic representation illustrates a solution model to a given problem. Basically, a critical path analysis flow diagram takes you from the problems to the solutions. It takes you from the problems to the solutions, that how is the problem to be addressed and what is the solution. For example, this is a terminator. You have a process. You have to take the decision either to A, or maybe if you have a decision is the alternative one, then going through the alternative of the other way. So you need to follow the critical path analysis diagrams, the fishbone diagrams, the brainstorming in order to use a project management tool of a project development. Gantt charts. Gantt charts is a type of bar chart devised by Henry Gantt in 1910 that illustrates a project schedule. The Gantt charts illustrate the start and finish dates of the terminal elements and summary elements of a project. So tools are the brainstorming based on the groups of activities, fishbone diagrams identifying the problems, methods and solutions, critical paths, the alternative solutions to the problems of a software development, and then Gantt charts give you the, let's say, a time schedule, like a conceptual event. Start date is 3rd of 2nd, layout logistic 3rd of the 3rd month is, and the 6th date is 6th. Maybe the select vendors, blah blah blah. and then how you will be representing, you can have a look. That conceptual event will carry out from the second of the third month, and obviously it will be carried out until the fifth date. So the fifth date, the conceptual event will be carried out. The layout logistics will start from the 6th of the month and will carried out until the maybe 9th, and over here, and this representation of the schedule is called the Gantt charts. Then we talk about the project quality. The software quality refers to two related but distinct ideas, notions that exist. One is the software functional quality, which reflects how well it complies with or conforms to a given design based on functional requirements. Specifications. So the software functional quality is related with design and functional requirements. I have already explained that functional quality is basically the quality of the software or anything which directly explains its performance, while the quality or non-functional requirements explain the assumptions of the non-functional requirements, like the reliability, scalability, and many things. Therefore, the functional quality is the design and the functional requirements. The attribute that can be described is the fitness for purpose of piece of software, or how it compares to competitors in the market as a worthwhile. Software structural quality refers to how it meets the non-functional requirements. As I explained earlier, that when it is the functional, then you need to look at that how each individual component works according to the requirements, while the structural or non-functional requirement is basically how the overall system is functioning in terms of non-functional, such as reliable, scalable, maintainable, manageable. Quality characteristics can be functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, probability. So they are basically the non-functional characteristics. When you talk about the quality, you talk about the non-functional characteristics that define the quality. However, if you talk about the functional aspects, you are dealing with the performance and the functions related with the design and the code of the particular components. Quality assurance. Software quality assurance is the process that ensures that developed software meets and complies with defined standards and quality specifications. SQA, software quality assurance, is an ongoing process with the software development lifecycle that routinely checks the developed software to ensure it meets desired quality measures. Quality control. Quality control is the set of procedures used by the organizations to ensure that a software product will meet its quality goals at the best value to the customer, and to continually improve the organization's ability to produce software products in future. Software quality control refers to the specified functional requirements as well as non-functional requirements such as supportability, performance, and usability. It also refers to the ability for the software to perform well in unforeseeable scenarios, circumstances, and to keep a relatively low defect rate. These specified procedures and outline requirements lead to the idea of verification and validation and software testing. So the quality control is the control the standard of the software according to certain rule, according to certain standard like ISO certified, and there are many more standards that explain, that characterize the level of the quality within a software. The assurance is basically, the quality assurance is basically carried out certain life cycle, that how the software has been developed and how it has been tested, implemented, and how the risk factors during the implementation have been carried out, and being assured that it has passed certain standard quality parameters. The characteristics of a quality could be these like reliability, usability, efficiency, and overall the quality of the function is basically the quality or the assessment of the components or the functions operations defined in the requirements. Whatever you define in the requirement, it is the functional quality or the functional performance assessment. When you talk about the non-functional, it means how the overall system works. So timeline, project management tools, the overall we discussed, and structure we discussed, team we discussed, and certain specification about the software, project planning methodologies, and project planning itself, and project management definitions. So just wondering now.
What's your name?
Hello, Abid. Okay, hello. Hello. Do you have any question?
No, sir, you don't have.
Okay, that's fine. You're most welcome to ask any question later on, and I end this session. I would see you next week. Yeah?
Okay, alright, sir. Thanks.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.